Hello, Raymond Park Orchestra students and parents. I'd like to congratulate all orchestra members on their first successful performance this year. For many students in orchestra, this was their first performance and their first opportunity to play in a large group. Learning a string instrument is no simple task. Students in this performance are displaying key fundamental skills they have learned on their instruments. These skills do not come easily and take dedicated practice and hard work to achieve. Even holding the instrument is no simple task. Students had to practice holding the bow for months, starting with pencils before moving on to the real thing. Even after learning how to hold it correctly, using it effectively is a years-long challenge. In the meantime, students learned how to hold their instruments to their bodies and learned their first notes by plucking. They also learned how to read music and learned all of these songs by doing so. Even plucking was no simple task. Pressing down strings with the left hand requires proper technique and can be painful when first starting. Students must fight through this while learning the proper note locations on their instruments and on their sheet music. They will now play their first musical scale while plucking. Students had to practice their scale for weeks before being able to attempt to bow. Even if the left and right hands are trained, using both at the same time is a massive coordination challenge. It's harder than trying to pat your stomach and rub your head at the same time. Take a look at how your student is matching hand technique as they bow their major scale. Students are going to play their scale one last time using a rhythm we've learned called Mississippi Stop-Stop. This rhythm is important to teach bow control and rhythmic values. The next song students will play is Jingle Bells. This song is much longer than the scale and requires students to maintain focus throughout the entire song. Students must also count the rests or silence correctly and move their bow in the same direction as their peers. Next, students will play an arrangement of the Hanukkah song, I Have a Little Dreidel. This song was easily the most difficult song of this concert. This song has students switch strings frequently, something that requires precision and practice to play properly. Going from an open string down to the next string is especially difficult, as it usually requires students to put more fingers down. One thing that is especially difficult about string instruments is playing in tune, or with the correct pitch. String instruments fall loose and out of tune on almost an hourly basis, and even when the string is tuned properly, students must place their fingers in the exact right position to be able to play the right note. Guitar, ukulele, and other string instruments are different because they have frets, and notes will lock on to the correct pitch inside each fret. Those instruments also have mechanical tuning pegs that stay in tune for much longer periods of time and are much less likely to snap a string. What this means is that students have to always think about tuning. In a non-pandemic year, I would tune beginners' instruments for them and wait until the second year to properly train their ears. However, with how much students have been out of school, students had to take charge of tuning their own instruments. We have taken even more class time to discuss and practice instrument tuning, and students are working their hardest to be self-sufficient while virtual. Last but not least, students will play 2 versions of Twinkle Twinkle Little Star. The first version will be written in their book, and the second version will be using the Mississippi Stop Stop rhythm. Before they play their last song, please reach out to me if you have any questions about how to best support your student in orchestra. Especially as we remain virtual, it is important that students are exposed to as many music-making opportunities as possible. One such example would be to take private lessons. There are many private teachers around Indianapolis, including on the east side. They do cost money, so I would never require lessons. However, if you are interested, please reach out to me and I will connect you with a talented and experienced teacher of your child's instrument. Thank you so much for tuning in. I apologize that we were not able to have a traditional concert with a live audience, but safety for students, staff, and families is more important than anything else right now. There are so many opportunities that are not available this year, and I hope that your student will continue with orchestra so that they can fully experience a music education in the future.